Hey there, folks, and welcome back to another edition of our venture in the game, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. In the last episode, my tongue twisted because the amount of detail that the Literature Club members expressed in their poems this time around, Sayori talking about bottles and bottling things, Monika talking about weird things related to light and noises and sine waves almost. And then at the last point saying, load me. Natsuki referring to, which made sense, talking about somebody who likes spiders, which, I don't know, in a way, that might have been an insult to Spider-Man. But the whole gist of it was talking about people who basically dislike other people's interests, but they are being a total jerk about it and unreasonable, which I thought was nice. And then Yuri, in her sharing of a poem, I was completely lost, talking about raccoons, having interactions with raccoons, and then, of course, then talking about knife and bread and things like that. So, yeah, that really just threw me for a loop this time around. I have no idea what any of those poems meant, besides Natsuki's in a way. So if somebody can give me a little bit of insight on Monika's and Yuri's in particular, I think I got what Sayori was referring to. I think she was talking about bottling up emotions and whatnot. But as far as Monika and Yuri, I am completely in the twilight zone with that. So help a brother out if you can. Leave it in the comments if you know what they're talking about. But in that, we're going to keep going here. Monika has a special announcement for the club members, and that's where we last were before. So let's transition on over there again, and let's see what she's got to say to the club members. Monika has something extra planned today, so she asks for everyone to come sit at the front of the room. Is this about the festival? Natsuki asks in curiosity. Well, sort of, replied Monika. Do we really have to do something for the festival? Well, it appears Natsuki is not very interested. It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. You'd be surprised what you can do if you put your mind to it. Although time is a necessity as well. That is a necessity. There's only so much you can do within a limited amount of time. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members. Well, you can't know that for absolute certainty until it actually happens. That's a concern of mine as well, expressed Yuri. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations. I don't really like those either, but I've come to develop an aptitude for some in some cases, but when there are those where it's just not possible to make it happen, then it's just not possible. Don't worry so much, replied Monika. We're going to keep it simple, okay? Okay, simple's good. We won't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event. Okay, that's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event, expressed Natsuki. Yes, sorry. I thought you heard about it already, replied Monika. We're going to be performing! We're gonna put a performance and we're gonna rant it out! No, I'm kidding. Anyways. Performing? Requested clarification by Natsuki. Okay, dramatic. Monika, interjected Yuri. Yeah, replied Monika. We're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite their poems too. Sayori's putting it on all the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time. Okay, that was way off. Sayori, who's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see. Are you kidding me, Monika? Expressed Natsuki. You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you? Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea? Well, no. Not a bad idea, expressed Natsuki. But I didn't sign up for this, you know. There is no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that. I agree with Natsuki, expressed Yuri confidently. I could never, in my life, do something like that. Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear. Guys! No, Sayori. I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple of days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. I guess I kind of overlooked that, so I'm sorry. But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put out a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. Monika, you might want to watch your index finger over there. You almost poked Natsuki, okay? You kind of watch that for a second there. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about. Yeah! As I just said, it's about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, know your inner self, finding new horizons. Wait a minute, you're not pulling a Samsung stunt, are you? Over the horizon. I'm sorry. And having fun. Yes, having fun. That's right. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you just want to share that with others? Don't you want to add more people to the parties? It's like the more the merrier. To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place. I know I do. I know we all do. Do we? And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, 2 minutes is an eternity in that particular circumstance, then I know you can do it. Natsuki and Yuri remain totally silent. Sayori looks worried. I guess that leaves me no choice. Buddy, you do have a choice. You're just making a choice of thinking you don't have a choice, and because you see these folks kind of like that, then you always have a choice, okay? Stop thinking ridiculously, okay? You always got a choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayori and Monika have been trying really hard to get new members. The least that we can do is help them out a little bit. Well, maybe, but... I mean, I get where Sosuke is coming from, but I figured he could just be like, hey, I'll chip in. You know, because that's almost like an indirect guilt trip in a way. But if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. And if they can't do it, they can't do it. At least not right now. It's most likely going to be growth pains. It looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left. Ugh. Okay, fine. I guess I'll just have to get it over with. All right! We got one! Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri dejectedly glances around at everyone else's expectant faces. I guess I don't really have a choice. Sister, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. Ha ha ha! That's everyone! We got them all! You're the best, Yuri. Okay. You know, I hear that statement all the time, you're the best. But are we still the best even when we still disagree? Or are we only the best when we do agree to somebody? This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh. You'll be fine, Yuri. But anyways, let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other. No way, shouted Natsuki. Monika! That is way too sudden, homie. That is way too sudden. Slow your roll. Pump your brakes, cuz. Pump your brakes. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, I'd expect to do it in front of strangers. Good point. Oh, no. Where's my brown bag? Yuri, here. Imagine I got a brown bag. Come on, do your breathing exercises. Do your breathing exercises. Don't worry, expressed Monika. Monika, you do realize you're saying this to an introvert, right? You literally saying this to an introvert. Come on now. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now let's see. Monika flips through her notebook to the specific poem she had in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium. So just for a terminology reference here, what we often see of that piece that's actually, we put our documents on to actually lecture some folks, it's actually called a lectern. But hey, terminology's terminology. Different connotations, right? But in the prose, we call it a lectern. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Monika begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. Is this something she's done before, or is she simply a natural? Probably her experience from back in the student council or whatever that was. I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monika. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Monika finishes reciting her poem. The four of us applaud. Monika takes a breath and smiles. That was so good! A+! Thank you, like a remarche. I was just hoping to set a good example. Well, I'd say you hit the ball out of the park on that one, homie. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? I'll go next. Oh, a new and finally determined Yuri. That's what I'm talking about, cuz. You go, girl. You go. Oh? Yuri's fired up all of a sudden. Yeah, she is. Got me on that fire. Do. Oh, sorry. Yuri clutches a sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over to the podium. This poem is called... Yuri anxiously glances at each of us. You can do it, Yuri! You can do it! It's called Afterimage of a Crimson Eye. Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. Why is she suddenly putting in so much effort? As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happens when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. Her quivering words transform into sharp syllables of a fierce and confident woman. The poem is full of twists and turns in its structure that she enunciates with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her, as if she bewildered even herself. It's up to me to save the situation, buddy. No, it's not. You just want to save it. I'm the first to start applauding. Everyone joins me afterwards, and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her, but we were caught so off guard that we must have forgotten. As we applaud, Yuri holds the poem to her chest and rushes back to her seat. Yuri, that was really good, expressed Monika. Thank you for sharing. And Yuri's down for the count. Did it look like Yuri's down for the count? Okay. I guess I'm next then, says Sayori. Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium. This one's called My Meadow. Sorry, I giggled. Oh my gosh. Sayori. It's a lot harder than I thought. How did you guys do it so easily? Try not to think of it like you're reciting to other people. Imagine you're reciting it to yourself, like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. I see. I have glimpsed into the future. I'm kidding. Okay then. Sayori begins her poem. Somehow it feels like her soft voice was made as a perfect match. The poem isn't aimlessly cheery like Sayori is. It's serene and bittersweet. If I were to read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it. But hearing it come from Sayori's voice almost gives it a whole new meaning. Maybe this is what Sayori meant when she said she likes my poems. It's like I get to reach more deeply into someone I thought I knew through and through. Sayori finishes and we applaud. I did it! Ugh! Okay. Good job, Sayori. Good job. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Sosuke lower everyone's standards a little before I have to do it. 'Cause that's messed up. You're just gonna use me as a scapegoat. That's messed up. You wrong. You wrong. Natsuki. It's fine. You're more lenient than I am, because I wouldn't tolerate that nonsense. You're more lenient than I am. I might as well get it over with. But it's not like I have much of a selection of what to read. I'll just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up, step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I recite my poem. Since I'm not exactly confident in my own writing, it's hard to put any energy into it. Despite that, once I finish, I receive applause anyway. Sorry, I'm not really good as everyone else. Yeah. Don't worry about it so much. I think it's less about your abilities and more about your lack of confidence in your writing. That's something that'll improve over time, though. Yeah, maybe. All right, then. That just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah. I'm going. Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium. The poem is called... It's called... Why are you all looking at me? Really? Really? You ain't been paying attention to all these other folks, and now you asking that question. Really? Really? Jeez. Because you're presenting, replied Monika. I'm getting a headache, y'all. I'm getting a headache. Anyway, the poem is called Jump. Natsuki takes a breath. Once she starts reciting the poem, her sour attitude disappears a little. While she's still a little unenthused, her poem has a rhythm and rhyme to it. It's Natsuki's trademark style, and it works surprisingly well when spoken aloud. The words feel like they bounce up and down, as if giving life to the poem. Natsuki finishes, and everyone applauds. Now stop being a jerk. She huffs back to her seat. That wasn't so bad, was it? Easy for you to say. You better not make me do that again. Well, you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people? I mean, doing it in front of other people will be way easier. I could put on whatever face I want for other people. But when it's with my friends, it's just embarrassing. That's a surprise, Natsuki. I think it would be the other way around for me. Well, that's just how it is, so... Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. That being said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be hard, but I hope that you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure you pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival, okay? I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know how ahead of time what you'll be reciting. Jeez. I should probably find some other poem to recite instead. That's fine too. It doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort for the club. It makes me really happy. And guess who's doing what again? Yeah, no problem. Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. Class dismissed. All right, let's get 'em out of here. I know the festival is coming up, but let's try to write poems for tomorrow as well. It's been working out really nicely so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait! I can do this. 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 Alrighty. I stand up. There's no way I'll be able to find the same enthusiasm as Sayori and Monika, but I'll do my best to get through it. If it's for the sake of the club and impressing Monika, then I'll have to do my best. Ready to go, Sayori? Yup, let's do it! Look at you two, always going home together like that. It's kind of adorable, isn't it? Jeez, guys. Don't make such a big deal out of it. It must be a little nice, though. Well... how am I supposed to respond to that? It's okay, Sosuke. You don't have to say it. Say what? Whatever. Let's go already. I walk home with Sayori once more. Even though it's only been a few days, a lot of things have already changed. But today, Sayori is being a little quieter than usual on the way home. Hey, Sayori. Sorry, I was spacing out. No wonder. I was thinking about something from earlier. I like how we get to. Sayori fumbles with her words. So, let's just say that one day Yuri has to walk home with you. Ha! What would you do? What kind of question is that? You're kind of putting me on the spot here. Alright, we're on the Sayori route, so we're gonna do this. Sayori, you really think I would ditch you for Yuri? She's so beautiful and smart. So? Jeez. I already see her in the club every day. Besides, you always seem to really like going home together. I wouldn't just ruin that for you. You're so silly, Sosuke. You think about me too much sometimes. Yuri would deserve it if she wanted it, so... Sayori, I've already made up my mind. I really can't figure you out sometimes. Sorry. Besides, what's the point in speculating something that's never gonna happen? The conversation trails off. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing for Sayori to care so much about. But I want to respect her and keep her happy too. Then again, the festival is only a few days away. Who knows what'll happen in that time. And with that, we will save this poem writing for the next episode. Gotta leave a little cliffhanger there for you guys. But anyways, I want to thank you for watching this video this time around. If you like what you saw, maybe consider leaving a like. And if you'd like to see more and you have not already, maybe consider subscribing. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of the next production to be released. And until next time, happy mixing, everyone.